Today, I want to share a real story about a company in Shenzhen where a good deed ended up backfiring. Many people often tell me, I've never seen the so-called feminism you talk about. The women around me are all great. I'm not here to argue with you about that. I'll just share this case and let you think it over. You can decide for yourselves how tolerating this kind of behavior ultimately harms everyone involved. Here's what happened. This story originally came from a blogger. In short, during the summer break, a company decided to do something thoughtful for its employees. Using its own funds, it hired childcare workers and chefs so working mothers could bring their children to the office, making it easier for them to focus on their jobs. However, this act of goodwill ended up backfiring, leading to a lawsuit and significant backlash from the feminist community. Why? Because of an extreme feminist within the company. How extreme? She referred to women in relationships as male pleasers and married women as marriage donkeys. These are terms used by extreme feminists to attack other women. Not to mention the insults she likely hurled at men, which could be a whole discussion on its own. She argued that the company's actions were sexist. This, despite the company offering employee-friendly policies like menstrual leave, flexible hours, early leave for task completion, various perks, and even a large conference room for employees to take naps. But none of this was enough for her. She claimed the company was unfriendly toward young, single women, calling it too old-fashioned and complaining about the overabundance of marriage donkeys, which she found intolerable. Eventually, she found a clever angle to attack the company. She reported that it didn't have the proper childcare certification and accused it of running an illegal daycare. Using this claim, she sued the company. Now, the company is facing investigation and has been forced to cancel all the benefits it had been providing to married mothers. Of course, this employee was eventually fired. She then took to social media, hoping to gain public sympathy by posting her side of the story. However, her actions were met with widespread criticism, even on social media, until she was forced to delete her posts. She was deleting them so frantically it was almost comedic. This case, to me, is a classic example, a real textbook case. Let me leave you with 3 thoughts. When women like this appear in your circle and other women sit back, watching the drama unfold, do you realize that such individuals are actively shrinking job opportunities for all women? For business owners and HR professionals, have you thought about the risks of hiring an extreme feminist like this? Ultimately, do you believe these so-called feminists actually care about women? That's all I'll say. Think it over for yourselves.
This morning, I woke up to see that the founding mother of East Asian feminism has had her image completely collapse. Just yesterday, Ueno Chizuko, a Japanese sociologist, made headlines after addressing the issue of bride prices in China. Here's the situation. Renowned writer Hong Huang and Ueno Chizuko had a discussion about China's bride price system. Ueno bluntly stated that bride prices are more about money worship than any kind of feminist expression. That one statement turned everything upside down. Ueno, once celebrated as a feminist founding mother, was immediately canceled by the feminist community, and a slew of scandals from her past came rushing to the surface. This marked a dramatic turn of events for someone who had previously made waves with her extreme claims, such as saying East Asian men are inherently guilty and owe women a great debt. Back then, some Chinese women resonated with her rhetoric, elevating her to a near-mythical status. Her works, especially Misogyny, were often quoted like scripture. But now, with her comments about bride prices, feminists in China are crying betrayal. They can't wrap their heads around it. What happened to her? Why would she suddenly speak out against something so ingrained in their worldview? Has she changed because she's financially comfortable now and no longer cares about money? How dare she call bride prices money worship? Isn't that a direct attack on women who demand high bride prices? In response, parts of the feminist community have revoked her icon status, digging up dirt from her past. Allegations about her being a mistress and inheriting a significant fortune from an elderly man have resurfaced, with critics tearing her reputation apart. But honestly, weren't these things already known? Why was she idolized as a feminist mentor, but now reduced to a public scandal? This whole situation exposes a glaring problem. Feminism, in its most extreme forms, often boils down to self-interest. Any viewpoint that aligns with their goals is true feminism. But if your perspective doesn't benefit them, you're out. If you look deeper into Ueno Chizuko's remarks on bride prices, though, you'll find a thread of consistency in her arguments, even if her actions don't always match her words. Her point seems to be this: bride prices go to the woman's family, but in the process, the woman herself suffers. She faces scrutiny from the groom's family, while being commodified by her own. In her view, this makes the woman a victim, meaning bride prices cannot be considered a feminist act. Ueno argues that true feminism is about self-respect and self-love. Even though women are often in weaker positions, they should not be discriminated against and deserve proper respect. In theory, there's nothing wrong with this perspective. The real issue lies in Ueno's apparent misunderstanding of Chinese feminism. In China, the narrative has shifted. It's no longer about women are weak and shouldn't be discriminated against. Instead, it's women are weak and therefore deserve compensation. Some feminists in China openly advocate for this. Men must pay for everything. Bride prices are non-negotiable. Housework isn't their responsibility. Children aren't a requirement. The wife's name must be on the property deed, and splitting bills is absolutely unacceptable. And yet, they still proudly call themselves independent women. In this context, any suggestion of abolishing or even reducing bride prices is met with fierce resistance. If you dare to oppose the idea, you're attacked. If you dare to challenge their entitlement to money, you're destroyed. Now, the same people who once idolized Ueno Chizuko have vanished. Their attitude is flipped. What does a Japanese woman know about China's realities? What do you, a book writer, know about feminism? You were never any good. You were someone's mistress and stole their money. But if you look closely, you'll notice they've stopped engaging with what Ueno actually said about bride prices. Instead, they've shifted to personal attacks. Doesn't this remind you of a certain pattern of arguments? When unable to address the issue itself, the attack pivots to your attitude or personal flaws.
So, what's all this about? It's just business. Recently, two female rights bloggers have gotten into a big argument. For those who might not know, one is called Hot Mom Monkey, and the other goes by Beef Burger. The situation is pretty straightforward. Hot Mom Monkey believes Beef Burger is plagiarizing her content, taking ideas from everything from movies to articles about women not being allowed to sit at the table or using women's parking spaces. She even questioned how Beef Burger could post every day, implying she must have a whole team behind her, while Hot Mom Monkey struggles and has less traffic and income. Hot Mom Monkey got more and more worked up, posting videos attacking Beef Burger, and even writing what looked like a suicide note. Honestly, I can't wrap my head around their mindset. Isn't it simple? If you claim I plagiarized, show me the evidence. If you can't settle it, just sue. Why all the drama and talk about suicide notes? It just doesn't make sense to me. Then Beef Burger started defending herself, saying she didn't plagiarize and that it's natural for viewpoints on women's issues to overlap, which is true because they all recycle the same old ideas. This whole mess attracted a bunch of self-proclaimed feminist bloggers trying to cash in on the attention. I'm also trying to get some attention by saying everyone should stop squabbling and unite for feminism. But in reality, they're all just trying to get clicks. Let's focus on Hot Mom Monkey for a moment. Most of what she's putting out there is based on suspicion rather than solid evidence. It seems she's just looking for a fight, possibly because she feels Beef Burger is taking her traffic and resources. Or maybe, and this is just speculation, an advertiser reached out to her but ended up going with Beef Burger instead. In the end, it's all about vying for power and profit. Honestly, I think it's a total waste of public resources. What's even more shocking is that after Beef Burger posted a video trying to justify herself and mentioned her boss exploiting her, her boss came out and directly challenged her claims. The video also hinted that Beef Burger was involved in beauty product endorsements, but that didn't get much traction. Then the boss dropped a new idea, and a screenshot in the video really caught my eye. This screenshot clearly shows they're using gender warfare and promoting LGBT issues as tools to make money. The boss even admits it, yet many female bloggers have completely ignored this. In this case, it's pretty clear that she's using feminism to cash in and riding the wave of online traffic. The same goes for Hot Mom Monkey and a lot of other feminist bloggers. Their actions have, in a way, undermined the values of many everyday women. They often spread gender anxiety and create a narrative of victimhood, making it look like all injustices are caused by men. In recent years, we've seen extreme examples in the news, like the Chengdu subway incident where a man was falsely accused of taking inappropriate photos. These narratives only serve to heighten the tension and fear between men and women. This is a clear demonstration of how toxic ideologies can impact real life. In the comments, you often see statements like, "Always support women," "Never side with men," "Never criticize women." When a conflict arises between a man and a woman, the attacks are usually directed at the man. They even go as far as to criticize the boss's appearance and sexual orientation without addressing the real issue. Normally, when we evaluate a situation, we shouldn't just focus on gender. We shouldn't jump to conclusions or insult people without knowing the full story, just because someone is a man or a woman. If it weren't for the boss keeping so much evidence, determining the truth of the situation between him and Beef Burger would be really difficult. I'm waiting to see how this all unfolds. If it turns out the boss is telling the truth, we can start to see the real moral character of these self-styled female representatives, opinion leaders, and those feminist bloggers with millions of followers. This situation shows that when people define themselves strictly by a specific identity, they limit their own perspective. Feminism can be a double-edged sword. These female bloggers benefit from the attention generated by gender conflict, but find it challenging to take on sponsorships.
Why?
First, the number of people leveraging gender conflict for attention has been growing quickly. The initial wave of traffic was so strong that even men started getting involved. Second, taking on ads that touch on gender issues can lead to backlash from fans who accuse them of betraying women. For instance, a female blogger with millions of followers faced heavy criticism for promoting a dating app. I genuinely think Hot Mom Monkey's push for traffic and her animosity towards Beef Burger are real. Competition among feminist bloggers is fierce. Hot Mom Monkey makes a living on Bilibili, has kids, and has praised her husband for being supportive. So, her willingness to engage in this kind of online conflict is no small feat in the end. It all comes down to profit. When it comes to profit, principles often take a back seat. It's all about business. In this era, where Western capitalism and various extreme ideologies are eroding our values, what ordinary women really need is not some imposed or defined ism, but true freedom.
Why are so many women criticizing feminism these days? The reason is simple. The way some people talk about feminism completely twists its original meaning. It makes me wonder, can we even call this feminism anymore? Honestly, it's not. It's more like a queen complex. Here's an example. A lot of self-proclaimed feminists say, "I don't want to be a traditional woman, I want to be a modern woman." That's great. Modern women should be independent. But then you hear things like, "When I get married, my husband should pay for everything, my clothes, my food, my lifestyle." Alright, let's flip the script. If a man says, "Fine, I'll provide, but you'll need to take care of the housework," the response is often something like, "Why should I do housework? I'm a modern, independent woman. How dare you expect that of me?" Then, when men push back and ask, "So why are you asking me for money?" the response becomes, "Our ancestors taught us that daughters are precious, so men should pay up." Do you see the issue here? They're cherry-picking from different ideologies, piecing together whatever benefits them while ignoring the rest. The result? They take all the perks while leaving men to carry all the burdens. Naturally, men aren't going to stand for this. This isn't feminism, it's entitlement disguised as empowerment. Real feminism is about equality. It's about women sharing the same responsibilities and taking on the same risks as men. Equality isn't just about rights, it's also about obligations. Take the workplace, for example. Women often face challenges when job hunting during their childbearing years. It's not fair to put all the blame on employers for this. Hiring someone who's pregnant or likely to take maternity leave comes with additional costs and risks for businesses. True equality isn't about saying, women have children, so they're oppressed and deserve extra benefits. Instead, it's about men and women working together to share the responsibilities of parenting while balancing their careers. If both men and women faced the same challenges and risks, there would be no reason for employers to discriminate against women. That's equality in action. The same principle applies to marriage and family life. Real feminism doesn't mean shifting all the burdens onto men while claiming all the freedoms for women. It means building partnerships where both sides share responsibilities equally. That's how you create balance and fairness for everyone.